Okay, I'm well into the second chapter of the one-liners for Python, and I'm putting those into ghPython custom component user objects through Wickerson Studios. I have a little geometry here that'll let you figure out because when you load it up, it'll give you a little logo of the Wickerson Studio geometry or any other text that you want to type in there. But basically, just going to spend this first part looking at where we're going to go in this chapter through file access, map function, lambda function, reduce function, slicing, slice assignment, generator function, and zip function. But comprehension is key to go farther in this book, so let's learn all about it. Take your time to really understand list comprehension, expression, and context. So let's jump into this one and see what's going on. You can see I changed up a little bit of the text just to have a little fun with it. With my superhero interests, I guess I never really followed comic books, but you may as well get into Stan Lee. And what I have here are some scripts, and I'll bring it all the way through to the bottom to start. And this is a long way to write it. What we're going to do through these two scripts is go from the long version of building a set list of a dictionary, which is a key value, a key, and then a value. So Batman, I like 75%. Joker, I like 95%. Penguin, I like 34%. Catwoman, 58%. And the Riddler, 100%. So he gets the top score. And then your favorites, creating a list to output to, because I want to be able to output, and I'm just going to call that favorites. Very interesting. Oh, and then I just outputted A to favorites. I guess I could just output favorites. That would be easier than having to do that. But at least I created an empty list for that. And then for every key or value in persons of interest, it's going to read all of these. It's going to look for anything that has a value higher than 75, and then it will output bump it bump bump bump. Joker 95, Riddler 100, and Batman 75. Because of that hard-coded 75 I typed in there. If I change that or make it parametric through the other side of the node, well then that you can see what that would do. Now let's look at list comprehension, expression, and context. Example here, you have the expression x times 2, and then the context would be x in range 3, which would give you all the numbers as x is 0, 2, and 4. So that's a nice example to start with. Let's jump over here and get into examples of list comprehension. And really take your time to slow down on this, and you'll see where we end up with this script, which is really nice. We end up with the one-liner, which is from this set list, which we had before, and all that other writing. You can see we tucked into one thing alone. A favorite, set it into its own list, the favorites. You're going to use a tuple for k and v, which is the key and value for kv in persons of interest items. So you're using the items function. And if v is greater than 75, so you turn that whole thing into a one-liner, and there you go. The same script works. Let's take a look at some examples that they use in the book, but then I manipulated them a bit. The first one's pretty simple. Most basic you can think about. Here it is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is x for x in range 4, which means x is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. Then the next one, you can do more. You put a tuple in here of x and y for x in range 3. So x can be 0, 1, 2, and y can be 0, 1, 2. And there's all if you think about probability back in high school, this can be a great tool for getting in there and figuring out, how to play poker right, I guess. C, I brought over here along with D because I brought them in here. You're going to see how the first level says, let's square everything, but there's a conditional here, so you have the expression, and then you have the context x in range 10 if the mod is less than 0, which means equals 0. It's just one way of writing if mod 2, x mod 2 equals 0. And then you've got, you'll get 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, which gives you the squares 0, 4, 16, 36, and 64. Then D is just taking everything that's in caps here as a string. You can see it boxed in there, and then you box that in there again, so you can box that again, so you have two lists, a list within a list, and then you can output that as very simply Michael David Wickerson, because you've lowered everything to lower, and you can put these all lowercase and then change them to upper and have fun with that. But take your time to run this. Take your time so this script can be manipulated from writing it this way. All these wonderful ways of writing that and outputting. Of course, could have just outputted favorites like this. You have to do A. But this whole section right here can be written right here because you created the list directly from favorites in that first line. and then you put in the condition for yada, 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 if, and then you're appending that list and adding to it, which is exactly what that first line does. So kind of think of it in reverse order. Very exciting. I think you should find, I guess you could write this as KMV and this is KMV. It still will work the same. But take your time to understand that. Go slow, and we will continue. And I really like the way this thing jazzes up here and fits nice and easy. And you can see we're using Wickerson custom nodes, which I'll make available online. So I'm going to keep going differently. I'm calling this the basic to intermediate set. Then we'll go into intermediate. Then we'll go intermediate advanced. And then we'll end up with solid advanced one-liner scripts. It's probably going to take me a few weeks, so stay tuned and stay in touch. Michael Wickerson at Wickerson Studios. Thank you.